Welcome, Sam and Liban, from the Sun Protocol here at the Bitcoin Wednesday evening in Amsterdam. Happy to have you here.
Thank you, Frans. Great to be here. Yeah.
Yes, so because you are going to give a presentation on the Sun Protocol and also on the energy-backed token and the concept you're working on. So this is a really interesting concept to use the solar power of sub-Saharan Africa and to translate into a currency, into a token, which people can exchange and enrich their lives, basically. So maybe to go first on your background, how do you get into this space?
By coincidence, I guess. I used to be a digital consultant all my life, but then I kind of was thrown into the corporate world because they made an offer I couldn't resist. So I worked 3 years for Samsung, from 14 to 16, for the Samsung Corporation, the communications arm. And then I felt that it's not my thing. The money was great, but that I found that values drive me more than money. So that was great to realize that. And so I went out, I fell into the crypto hole. I met Thorsten Schreiber, the founder of Africa Green Tech, our partner, in January 18. And I explained blockchain to him and the potential of freedom and self-determination I saw in it, not the to the moon coining that everybody else seemed to see. And he told me his vision about how renewables can free the African continent, and somehow that we merged really fluently, and we met Shebnem, and our third partner in February, or end of January actually, Shebnem Ruzicka at a workshop where we wanted to get some feedback from other cryptos because she's in the German Association for Blockchain, and she's an energy expert there and worked 10 years for Siemens. For peer-to-peer energy systems, so she's just like a dream come true, and so that all came together, and then from there it was just figuring out the details, and So
there's a combination of, let's say, the social responsibility of monetizing basically the solar power in Africa, combined with the blockchain and cryptocurrency token economy. So that's a very interesting combination, right? And you're also socially engaged, right, to lift up the local communities in rural sub-Saharan Africa.
Well, yeah, I think we always laugh about, because we always have to meet quite, like, we can't be out of touch longer than 2 months, because then we go completely into different directions, because Thorsten is very much driven from the aspect of environmental, renewable.
What do you mean by task?
Thorsten, no, that's the name of one of the co-founders, Thorsten Schreiber. So he's very environmentally driven. Shebnem is very driven by technology, AI, and machine learning and blockchain, right? And what smart contracts and oracles and what we can do, even with self-owning machines and things like that. That's what drives her crazy, because she sees a big potential for a next economy, as Tim O'Reilly called it, right? And I'm more ideology driven, so I see this freedom potential, this actually not freedom, but self-determination, right? So to enable people, to allow them to get energy, because that frees us in terms of productivity. Everything we do here, this camera, this light, everything is based on energy, right? And we forget that, because for us it's air. Like air, it's just a commodity.
It starts with energy,
exactly,
especially for the solar power of energy of the sun, translating that into electricity, so to say.
Exactly.
What is then the role of the Sun Protocol in that?
Well, the Sun Protocol I see, I always say it's the sum of all validation points that we have in the project, in the vision, right? So one is, how do we spread the technology? So we get the energy through a partner like Africa Green Tech, and then we create a loyalty program, the software for it as well, and also the sales capacities of the electricity. So you can all automate that also with blockchain technology, right? And but what we do is actually we create a loyalty program that issues a token for the consumption of electricity, right? And we could, together with the communities, also even distinguish between productive energy use, like a sewing machine, or when you do something for yourself or for others, and non-productive energy consumption. So we could incentivize actually productivity even per se, right? So that's an idea. But generally, in this loyalty program, so the token gets spilled out. People install on the everybody has or a lot. The majority has a mobile phone on the African continent now. And so why do they install? Not because we say it's better to have a wallet, but because it's an app with which you get a bit more electricity, right?
So it starts with the sun.
Then
somebody or a corporation has solar screens, right?
Yeah.
To translate energy of the sun into electricity.
Yeah.
What is then the next step of that community? What should they do?
The next step is the loyalty program that we introduce it. So they
download the app on their mobile phone.
Exactly.
And then the energy they can sell, they can exchange, and they receive tokens?
Well, they buy the energy from the provider, and then they use it. And when it's used, the smart contract issues automatically a token for their energy consumption, for the amount. So the token always has a value of, let's say, 1/20th of a kilowatt hour. You use 1 kilowatt hour that you have bought, and you get 1/20th back in form of a token. And so now you can learn how to send, receive, and see the balance of your tokens, right? So we lay the basis for the community to understand just the game, right? And then actually what we believe in, because the token has this fixed value in kilowatt hours, 1/20th of a kilowatt hour, for example, that means that people will, from their own intrinsic motivation, get to the point where they ask somebody to take or give the token to them, right? Because either it's a barber using electricity for doing his job, or it's somebody who has amassed lots of tokens and just wants to get rid of them and wants to buy a papaya with it, maybe, or it may be lack of trust in the given systems. But no matter what it is, we believe it's a stable value in a currency that everybody trusts, that's electricity and energy, that induces people to use this as a means of exchange. And that's actually where the fun starts.
So if I have the mobile app on my wallet and I have some asset or some energy-backed tokens on my mobile wallet, and I would like to use some electricity, I would buy some electricity, then I go to the electricity provider, basically, and I buy with my tokens electricity.
Once you can buy the token, you can buy the electricity at the beginning, of course, with the money that is there.
Yeah, with the fiat currency?
Yeah, with the fiat, whatever is there. But then, after the system is running, you can always use the tokens to get electricity again, right? To buy electricity with it. But of course, it's only a fraction of what, like miles or more, right? If you fly from Frankfurt to New York, you don't get miles for the next flight from New York to Frankfurt, but you have to fly like 100 times to get one flight, so it's the same system. But the more interesting part for us is that people come to the conclusion that they can use the token for services and products outside the electricity
so not only usable for buying electricity,
no,
but
so
also
they exchange with each other, yeah. But not,
so you can buy rice or bread or
maybe,
whatever, milk with these tokens.
But the thing is, our hypothesis is they will do this by their own because the token has this fixed value in electricity. We don't have to induce it. We don't have to do anything else than to ensure that every partner who creates electricity commits to always exchanging a token against this fixed amount of kilowatt hours.
Okay, that's a kind of asset-backed tokens, but the asset in this case is electricity.
Yeah.
Okay, so the community of the Sun protocol, how big is the group working on this protocol, the developers, the designers, etc.?
Yeah, so at the moment, I'd say from highly frequent, we are about 8-9 people. Yeah, and then altogether, I'd say we're I don't know, I can't even count. I've been touring all this year, or since April, May, actually. So it's hard to. I don't have a count. We want to launch a Rocket Chat soon as a community kind of hub, a hub for the community. So then I can tell you maybe after 3 or 6 months. But I think it's about maybe 50, 100 people, and
are using it?
no,
now,
not yet using it, but the community that is actually in terms of like the some protocol community, right?
Exactly.
For the product or the project, it's not there yet. So we're just finishing the proof of concept. We've been added to a program of the University of Vienna for crypto economics. So they are researching. They got a fund to research if programming sustainability is there, like in economics. And so we're one of 3 startups that have been nominated to be studied.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's awesome because they're big questions. I mean, right?
Exactly. And when do you think this proof of concept will translate itself into a production environment?
Well, we're looking at hosting a funding event in March 19. So where we will invite the people that we met that actually believe in us to a funding event where fundraiser, I think is the American term.
And there will be also the stage when there's some form of production ready system available?
Yeah, so there will be prototypes or alphas. But yeah, that's the plan. So that's what we're working on right now, as well the event organizing, getting funds for it, because it costs money.
And that will be kind of ICO as well, right?
Not there.
That
would be kind of a seed kind of thing. And then I think an ICO for us, back in January, I said nobody believed me. I said nobody buys tokens for utility, right? Everybody I know who bought ICO tokens bought it because he wanted to have gains. And so, so I strongly believe, we always wanted to create this as legally conforming as possible. So there will be a sale of token or a kind of token issuance, but what it will be exactly in kinds of legal terms of ICO, STO, blah, 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 crowdfunding, I think is the most obvious. So yeah.
And in what region in Africa will this be first launched?
Well, it's hard to say without actually being able to having at least enough funds to talk to countries, governments about prototypes. So our partner Africa Green Tech at the moment is as active in Mali, in Niger, and Somaliland, or starting in Somaliland, which is not a non-recognized country. And so, yeah, we'll see. Either it will be one of those countries or maybe a completely different one. I think it's too early now to decide and focus on that.
Okay, so 2019 will be an important year for
Yes.
you guys, right? I mean, the issuance, the production readiness, the launching of the community, and the implementation in a country in Africa, and to see if the system will work. Are there any concrete plans for yourself, your role in this community, for going forward in 2019?
Well, at the moment, I'm trying to explain the concept, and I'm trying to keep the team together, or learning from different team members.
Where's the team based?
Where's
the team based?
Well, we're spread. Torsten and I are based roughly in the Frankfurt area in Germany, and Shebnem is in Munich in Germany. And we have our content master or master of copy, for example, sits near Toronto. So, this is the new age. The people...
distributed team, right?
Which makes life hard, but...
Exactly. Distributed ledger technology, distributed teams, it's common practice.
But I think we got well. It's working well for that. It's a challenge to start like that. It's easy to distribute once you know each other personally, but it's hard to start that way. But I think it's working well, and we'll get there, I'm sure.
Okay, amazing story.
Yes,
so challenging times ahead in 2019.
Definitely.
So thanks very much for this interview.
Thank you.
And I hope you have a good luck next year to create your energy-backed token going forward.
Yes, thank you very much. Again. Thank you, Franz.